Oh, hi. Thank you for sharing. My question was, what does the future of design education look like to you? And if you had a magic wand, how would you design this future?
That's a good question.
Mm, I think the future starts with an equitable public education system. I think this, even in some of the most progressive cities, there's a huge disparity between, you know, it's like another chapter of A Tale of Two Cities, um, and and it shows in ways, for students of color mostly in lower income neighborhoods, and how their career tracked. You just have to show up for career day. And as you sign in, you're surrounded by men in uniform and police, police department and military. And those are the careers that are presented as options. And I think there was a tattoo artist as well. And so for me, it starts with an equitable, public education system that's where the arts are funded across all of the schools.
Great. Alexa, do you have another question that we can line up?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab Andrea. I will ask you to unmute.
All right. Hey, Yocasta, this is so inspiring. Assuming I can't go back in time and intern at Collins as a high school student, how could I pitch this to my organization?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. We didn't pitch this to our founders, Brian Collins and Leland Mashmeyer. They were on board immediately, I asked Brian recently what he thought was the barrier to adopting a program like this. He said, people overestimate short-term decisions and undervalue long-term decisions. I think that's really what it is. It's the barrier is the long-term commitment. There's a fear of committing to a long-term program and getting it wrong, is what I think. But to that, I would argue, that we started just as a summer high school internship, just to expose students to career. And the only reason the program is as comprehensive as it is now, it's really the outcome of applied learnings year over year. I can point out, what we learned every year and how it changed the program. First year we exposed them to careers. One of our students had found a passion for strategy. The other found a passion for design. How do we help them, get a short list of schools that might be right for them, and help them through the process? So that became part of the program. The second year, the two high school interns that joined had already been accepted to school, but needed to figure out their financial aid process. Okay, had needed to secure a ton of funding. So then that, we have to work with them through the financial aid process. Third year, there was, some students concerned that their parents didn't understand their career options or what this industry was about. We had family dinner. Let's invite their parents, to the office, so they can see the space and meet with us and we can talk to them about the industry, and be transparent of what salaries in the industry are, and have their children present the work that they had, produced throughout the summer and their process. And that is one of my favorite, actually, parts of this program. And the list goes on year after year. You just keep learning and applying. Now we're trying to secure college internships for some of our mentees at other work environments, so they get experience from a diverse set of places, not just at Collins. And ultimately, we're going to hire them, or we're going to make sure they get placed into the industry. But again, that was just like over time, and it's been successful. They're all still in school. They're graduating, this year. Next year, there's 2 more graduating. Graduating every year.
Yocasta, it's also inspiring. So taking Andrea's question, like, did you say you're working on a deck that would help someone pitch this to their bosses?
I'm going to work on a deck to help pitch this, but I also wanted to say that, we've been talking about, we've been talking about diversity for over 30 years, and the needle hasn't moved much, specifically for Black and Latinx communities. And, it's just 30 years of talking. And that's why just start, approach it like a product design problem. You just need the intention and the commitment. I don't think we're not getting to 3%, from 3% to 13%, or actually have the, actual representation of the world we live in. I think we have to parallel program this, have a program for college interns, and, start as well with high school internships in order to even get close.
So everyone who's attending and
I can continue to, there's a whole laundry list, there's a whole bunch of points I can make for the business case. We've already talked about, the creative case for the business, but I'm happy to, put a pitch deck together.
For those of you who want to pitch this to your bosses, I think if there's enough people interested, like in the follow-up email that's going to go out, we always have a survey after the events. There's going to be a question if you're interested in learning more, because Yocasta said she's willing to share her blueprint, to help on a deck, to pitch this to your organization. So really raise your hand in the follow-up email that goes out with the survey. Yocasta, I have a question here from Ignacio. He says, how can I apply to the program?
You can apply_New York, and in the subject, put Collins High School Internship Program.
Okay. Tina F on YouTube is asking, what gets you excited about what you do?
What gets me excited? I love, just watching the growth of our team, and just watching them, how everyone is growing, the interns as well. That, I was showing that work earlier, and, I just saw, they just shared some zines that they were working on outside of, at our typography class, and the work is just, that's what's most gratifying just to see how much our talent develops and grows in short period of time.
Amazing. Alexa, do we have questions in Zoom still? Otherwise, I have some more of people that put them in the chat.
We do. I'm going to call on Sandeep. You are on.
All right. Hi, Yocasta. First of all, amazing session. Just one thing, the more I talk about Brian, the more I talk to Brian on LinkedIn, the more inspired I get. So love from India, first of all. And my question to you is, would a similar kind of program be open to internationals? Because again, I love the work that Collins does. I've been following it for a long time. And I need to have a program in my country where I can sit online and learn the stuff that you guys do there.
Yes. Are you in high school?
I'm currently a freshman in my college right now, but I consider myself to be a high school student. It's not a big deal that much, honestly.
Well, apply to Collins, and we'll see, and we'll find something. We'll figure something out. Or
all right, I'm sending the mail right away.
That's so great. Alexa, do you want to take another one from Zoom?
Yeah, I am going to unmute Irving in Philly. Hey.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi.
Here in Philadelphia, I had the privilege of working with high school students through a charter school. And so working with students has been a huge learning experience about accessibility. And my question is more geared towards that, though I have tons of questions about the program.
Yep.
I've noticed that a lot of the students that we work with are coming from neighborhoods that are very impoverished and have limited access to even computers. What is Collins doing to provide accessibility to software programming, computer, and just even a space itself in terms of allotment of hours, and how does Collins work with that within the program?
We provide the computer, the software. It's a paid internship. They have an unlimited Metro card and a stipend, a lunch stipend. You have to invest.
Incredible.
Thank you.
I have a question on from Jean on Zoom. What does mentorship look like during the internship and afterward? Do you have criteria for the mentors to ensure it's a good relationship?
Yes, I typically I assign the mentees. I know both teams the closest. I mean, or all the interns and our team the closest. So yeah, there's.
Is Yocasta frozen?
I think so.
Oh, she's back. Yocasta, are you still there? You
Yeah.
froze for a second.
Oh,
okay,
sorry.
That's okay. Let's move on to the next question. Alexa, let's take another raised hand. I see there's still some raised hands there.
Great. I am going to call on Elise. Elise, you should be unmuted.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm involved in an organization here in Brooklyn called Hook Arts Media that is on the same kind of trajectory, which is finding kids who don't graduate from high school or are in transition school and giving them the tools to be able to work in the media industry. We have something called Digital Boot Camp. It's extraordinarily successful for them. They become part of a production team. They all of a sudden, I've watched them in school go from like incredibly bored teenagers to like amazing crew. And our difficulty has been finding the right people to plug them into a pipeline so that they can take these skills of working with professionals and then transition them into actual workplace. And I don't know, maybe it's a conversation offline.
No, you have to start building connections. Are they in? So they're in the regular public school?
They're in what's called transitional high schools, and some of them have actually graduated those schools. But we start with them, you know, they're the kids who couldn't get through high school, so they went to these kind of alternative high schools, and that's where we plugged in because they were really looking for something, and they turned out to be incredibly creative. And
yeah, you could let's email and find ways to connect them to production companies in the industry.
Because they've made public service announcements. They're really talented and know what they're doing, and it's really about plugging them in. So I'd appreciate your help on that.
Yeah, and I think another point about why it's important to expose them early to these types of opportunities. It promotes kind of the engagement in at school, right? There's a focus. Right.
It changed. It's very life changing.
Yeah.
It really
dropping out, right? Because now there's a goal. There's something.
And they have a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. So thank you for what you're doing, and I appreciate being able to learn from what you're doing.
Yocasta, are you okay if I privately DM Elise your email?
Yes, I'm just gonna.
All right, I just sent it to her. Elise, if you look in your chat right now, you have Yocasta's email. All right, so let's do one more question in Zoom, and then we probably have to close this off.
I'm gonna call on Spencer. Spencer, you are on.
Gosh, I didn't think it was gonna be me. Hi, Yocasta. I'm a huge Collins fan, and my question: I currently go to the Creative Circus in Atlanta. And Jordan's in my class.
Yes, he's
amazing. I love your mentor program. I totally do not want to encroach, but I am incredibly envious. My question is, as a person that's coming into the industry, I don't want to be silent about things that I see in welcoming and diversity, but I also don't have a position of power right now or like any leeway. So I'm wondering early on how I can be an ally and support people of color, because I think that role is incredibly important. And like I said, I don't want to wait until I'm, up on some pedestal and it's already too late.
I think you should feel free to be an ally, If it's not an environment that's supportive of you being an ally, it's probably not a place you want to work.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good. I'm gonna have one more question that I have myself that I wasn't able to ask earlier because I wanted to make sure we're gonna be tracked good on time. But I'm just personally curious, what has surprised you the most in this journey? I mean, this is 5 years of, you know.
What's surprised me the most is the number of kids who've actually chosen to pursue a career in design. Out of the majority didn't know what they were or weren't sure about design. Some wanted to study fine arts, some illustration. But yeah, the majority are tracking towards a career in design. And so that surprised me. I guess that is the goal of the program in some ways, but it's always the key word is consider careers within design. And I'm just glad that we've presented that opportunity and that they found this connection and went to school, really feeling they had picked a meaningful major,
And what is your dream? Like, you just started talking about this. I know that you haven't really been very public about this, what you're doing. And like, what's your dream? Is your dream to have other agencies come to you and say, like, let's team up, let's create a network? Is it like what's your, if you had a magic wand, what would happen?
Well, for me, we're a team of 50, so there's only so much diversity or so much impact we could have on as an industry. My dream would be to, that this would be a program that others could adopt, and that we could, through this program, help contribute like a bigger impact as far as diversity in the industry. Like, I want my industry to be, to have representation.
Yeah.